Imagine walking into a high-tech lab where engineers have just unveiled the most advanced humanoid robot ever created. It walks, it talks, it even tells jokes that are slightly funnier than your uncle's Thanksgiving monologues. Now, suppose you place a mirror in front of it. It sees itself. It identifies itself by name. But here's the question. Does it know it exists? See, a robot can analyze data, respond to stimuli, and execute functions based on programming, but will it ever wonder, why am I here? Will it ever experience guilt, love, hope, or regret? Will it ever lie awake at night questioning its purpose? The difference between human consciousness and artificial intelligence is the difference between life and a simulation of life. No matter how advanced AI becomes, it will never possess self-awareness in the way that we do because it lacks what we have, something immaterial. If the human soul doesn't exist, then neither does free will, identity, or meaning. But if we have a soul, well, that changes everything. And that's exactly what we're breaking down today. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Practical Theism. My name is Josh. Did you know that your body completely replaces itself about every 7 to 10 years? Every cell in your body regenerates. Your bones, muscles, even your skin is different from what it was a decade ago. Yet somehow, you're still you. If every physical part of you has changed, why do you remain the same person? It's because you're not just a body. You have a soul. Today, we're tackling what the soul is, how we know it exists, and why the soul is eternal. Let's get into it. So first off, what is the soul? The Catechism of the Catholic Church in 363 tells us, in sacred scripture, the term soul often refers to human life or the entire human person, but it also refers to the innermost aspect of man, that which is of greatest value in him, that by which he is most especially in God's image. Soul signifies the spiritual principle in man. The soul is not an invisible ghost trapped inside the body, nor is it just a poetic way of describing personality. The soul is what animates us. It's what makes us who we are. Picture an orchestra performing a beautiful symphony. The instruments, violins, pianos, trumpets, are impressive on their own, but they are silent without the musician. The body is like the instrument. The soul is like the musician. It is the conductor of our thoughts, our choices, and our very existence. Now, no matter how complex a violin is built, it cannot play itself. A light bulb without electricity, it's just a piece of glass and metal, right? It has all the necessary parts to function, but without electricity flowing through it, it's lifeless. In the same way, our bodies without souls are just material structures. They have all the necessary physical parts, but without the soul, they are lifeless. That's why when someone dies, everything is still there. Their heart, brain, and organs, but the life that has animated them is gone. And here's what's fascinating. Scientists still can't define what life actually is. Why? Because it's more than just biology. It's the soul. You see, if we were merely biological machines, then every thought we have should be nothing more than chemical reactions. Yet, humans are capable of contemplating justice, love, morality, and eternity. We don't just process data. We seek meaning. We long for truth. We ask, what is my purpose? If consciousness were just neurons firing, why would we search for something beyond survival? St. Augustine recognized this when he wrote, "You have made us for yourself, O Lord, and our hearts are restless until they rest in you." You see, this longing for meaning, for purpose, beyond what is physically measurable, points to something more than matter. It points to the soul. The second thing I want to dive into is near-death experiences and consciousness beyond the brain. You see, medical journals have documented cases of people clinically dead for several minutes who later describe detailed experiences outside of their body, things that were happening in the hospital room, conversations between doctors, details they should have had no way of knowing. Dr. Jeffrey Long, a radiation oncologist, has studied thousands of near-death experiences, NDEs, right? And they found that many people report being fully aware of their surroundings while unconscious, experiencing themselves separated from their body, and encounters with deceased loved ones or God. If consciousness were just brain activity, how could people have these experiences when their brains have completely shut down? Even secular scientists struggle to explain this. Third thing I want to dive into is the soul explains personal identity. See, if you're just your body, then you are a completely different person every 7 to 10 years when your cells regenerate. Yet something in you remains unchanged. Think of a flame. The fire burning a candle is always changing, always consuming wax, always shifting, but it remains the same flame. Likewise, our bodies, they age, they regenerate and change, but the soul remains uniquely itself. The soul also explains free will. If we were purely biological machines, Every decision we make would be dictated by chemistry and physics. Yet we can choose to act against instinct. We can choose to fast when our body craves food. We can sacrifice our safety for the sake of another. We can forgive when every part of us wants revenge. Animals don't do this. They act out of instinct. Humans act out of rational will. Even C.S. Lewis points out, if our thoughts are merely accidental byproducts, why should we believe them to be true? If our thoughts were purely physical reactions, how could we trust them? The fact that we can think beyond material needs suggests we are more than material beings. The next piece ties directly into any level of Christian thought. The soul is eternal. If the soul is not made of physical matter, then it cannot decay or die like the body. Jesus himself confirms this in Matthew 10:28. He says, "Do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather fear him who can destroy both soul and body in hell." We know from logic that only physical things decompose. The soul, being spiritual, is not subject to death like the body. St. Thomas Aquinas explains it this way: that which can know eternal truths must itself be eternal. We are able to conceive of infinity, eternity, and absolute truth. If our souls were temporary, we wouldn't be able to have the capacity to grasp these concepts. You see, if the soul is real, then you are more than just a body. Your life has meaning beyond physical survival. Your actions have eternal consequences. You are made by God for a purpose. If you have a soul, then your life is not just about what you achieve here. It's about where you are headed forever. Seek what truly lasts because you were made for eternity. So a few things in closing. I want you to think about this. If your soul is eternal, how should that change the way you live? Number 2, I want you to look up Matthew 10:28 and reflect on what Jesus says about the soul. And number 3, if you found this video helpful, share this video. Slap that like button and pound that subscribe button so you get more of this awesome content. Until next time, remember, your body is temporary. Your soul is eternal. Live accordingly.